Hey everyone! So I guess by now you all heard about the Queen of England dying. Now I was kind of wondering what you all thought about her. But first of all, let me show you what's written on my shirt, okay? It says, vegan because paying for the rape, kidnapping, sadness, and murder no longer tasted good. See, I became vegan when I found out what happens to the animals, about all these terrible things that we do to them. And yes, we do. It's not just my country, it's every country. There are so many places that abuse animals. The Holocaust never ended for them. Pigs are still being murdered in gas chambers at 6 months old, and so many billions of animals are needlessly harmed every single day because the people who eat them, wear them, and use them. So I'm wondering what you think about the Queen. Now, she died in her 90s. Now, let's just assume at the beginning of her life, just like all of us, she was innocent and she was just being fed these dead animals without really knowing what's going on. You know, I always say on this channel that we are all born vegan, because being vegan is about the animals. It's not about food. It's not about health. It's about making the declaration that you are not going to exploit animals anymore and really working hard towards that end. So the Queen, like all of us, was just born innocent, was born vegan, and was fed dead animals by her parents. She opened her mouth dutifully, just like we all did. We didn't know the difference between carrots and peas and spaghetti and potatoes and a dead pig or a dead fish or a dead lamb or a dead baby cow, otherwise known as veal. But at some point, the Queen of England must have been aware about what's going on. I mean, she's not a stupid lady. She went all around the world, talked to so many people. Surely she must have been at some point intrigued by the word vegan. She must have driven by in one of her limousines and seen, a vegan store or a label on something that said vegan. She must have known what the word meant. She must have known about the animals. So why didn't she become vegan? That's what I'm intrigued about. Like, all of these supposedly good people, what stops them? This is why on this channel I try to reach out to so many creators who have millions of followers. The vast majority of them don't listen to me. That's out of my control. But I can still try to reach them with the message. Now, if I could have talked to the Queen of England, I would have said to her, excuse me, but you can even hire a vegan chef. You can easily change what you're eating and promote veganism to all of the people that you talk to. You could wear a shirt that says this. Can you imagine the Queen of England going around wearing this shirt? How cool would that be, right? But why didn't she do it? Because there's a difference between polite and kindness. When you're polite, you say please and thank you, and you sit up straight, hold the door open for people, wear your little white gloves and your hat and your little pearls, and you don't disturb anyone. That's being polite. But it's not the same thing as being kind. Being truly kind involves bravery. It involves digging down deep and doing what's right, even if you won't be popular, even if people won't like you, just because you can imagine what it would be like to be the victim. You can just put yourself in their place. You can imagine the terror and the suffering of these innocent pigs who are just 6 months old, who are being gathered after a lifetime of hell and shoved into gas chambers the same way that the Nazis did to the Jews. And yes, I am comparing the two of them, because what happens to the animals is in fact worse. Because instead of it being by the millions, it's by the billions. And instead of it ending, it continues. And it continues even through the actions of people like the Queen of England. Can you imagine if we'd had her on our side? If 3 times a day she would have said, hey, it's breakfast, I don't want any cow's milk, I'll take the soy milk or the oat milk. Can you imagine? Lunchtime, instead of having the chicken, the murdered animal, Chickens are abused on this planet more than any other animals, and you never see them being abused because they're in these giant facilities, hidden from our view. Murdered at just 7 weeks old. Imagine if the Queen of England had said, no chicken for me. Tofu, lentils, beans, chickpeas, rice, anything else. I want to be nice. I don't want to just be polite. Imagine if she had done that. It's so cool. Imagine if at dinner time she didn't say no roast, she would say no roast beef for me. I will be having anything else on the menu. How about you make me a vegan pizza with vegan cheese and vegan meat, maybe Beyond Meat, maybe Impossible Meat, anything else. Can you just imagine if the Queen of England, everywhere she went, on her Queen Mobile, it said, let's be vegan from now on? Would that be cool? Now let's look at the people who are still alive right now. People like Gordon Ramsay. Imagine if he honestly said he had a whole change of personality, which will never happen, by the way, because the guy is a total creep. But let's just say, people like him, all the chefs of the world said, we are tired of abusing animals. We are tired of paying into this system. We're tired of not being brave. We want to be brave and speak out, even if you don't like us that much. We want to do the right thing. We want to leave a legacy of kindness on this planet. So from now on, all of them would wear on their lapels here, on their jackets, or on their chef coats, vegan from now on. I'm a vegan chef. Can you imagine? How cool would that be? Imagine if every teacher in the world, when their students asked them what you ate for dinner, they said, vegan food, of course. Imagine if every police officer who ever went into a donut shop said, what are your vegan options? What kind of vegan donuts do you have here? You see, it's possible. It's totally possible. What if every firefighter went around, and when they were teaching children about fires and how to put the fire out, and they went with their uniforms everywhere, said to the students and the teachers in the classrooms, you know what? When there's a fire, I don't run to the fridge to rescue the vegetables and the fruits, because plants don't have feelings. Plants are not alive. They're not sentient. We could argue if they're alive or not, but they're not sentient. They don't feel. Plants don't feel pain. They don't have a brain. They don't have a nervous system, so it's okay to bite into them. You have a heart. You know where to start. Right now, you can be vegan from now on. Imagine if all the firefighters taught people that, said, we save the animals in your homes. We save the people. We don't save the celery. Imagine if every business person, when it was time to go out and eat, they said, okay, it's time to eat. Which vegan restaurant do you want to go to today? Imagine if that was the default. To do good, to be kind, to truly be kind, not just polite, but actually kind. What a world it would be. What a shame that the Queen of England didn't become vegan in her later years. She could have had such a domino effect. What about the new king? Charles, apparently he cares about the environment. Does he really? Because the best thing you can do for the environment individually 3 times a day is to eat vegan foods, to not contribute to the suffering and the pollution. But most people won't do that, because most people are selfish narcissists. But are you? What will your legacy be? How will they remember you after you die? Now, I have no illusions about how I'm going to be remembered. Sure, I have my Wikipedia page that they started and they wrote a bunch of facts on there. But sometimes people get facts a little bit wrong. I don't know, I haven't checked it in about a year. But many people will lie and say that I ate animals and that I was a phony, because people splice together all kinds of videos like that. But those who will really research, who really want to know, who really care about the truth, will know that I tried as hard as I could for the last many decades of my life, or however long I live, to encourage people to be as vegan as possible. I tried so hard to undo the damage. I'm trying. Don't you want to try? Don't you want to try? Don't be like the Queen of England, who ate dead animal after dead animal went through her entire body and then was shit out into the toilet. Thousands of them. Thousands of innocent animals treated that way by the Queen of England. Because of what? Because of stupidity? No. Because the Queen of England wasn't actually brave or kind. She was merely polite.